Hare Krishna everyone, welcome back to Shravanam Diaries podcast. I'm your host Sulalita Devidasi and we are continuing to read Teachings of Queen Kunti by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Teachings of Queen Kunti is a set of prayers offered by Kunti Devi to Shri Krishna. They are from Srimad Bhagavatam, and Srila Prabhupada gave a series of lectures on these verses, so we are reading them. We continue where we left off yesterday on chapter number 22, Beauty in Krishna's Presence. There are two stages of meeting Krishna: being personally present with Krishna, personally meeting him, personally talking with him, and personally embracing him is called Sambhoga. But there is another way to be with Krishna, in separation from him, and this is called Vipralamba. A devotee can benefit from Krishna's association in both ways. Because we are now in the material world, we do not see Krishna directly. Nonetheless, we can see him indirectly. For example, if one sees the Pacific Ocean, one can remember Krishna immediately if one is advanced in spiritual life. This is called meditation. One may think, the Pacific Ocean is such a vast mass of water with many large waves, but although I am standing only a few yards from it, I am confident that I am safe. However powerful this ocean may be, and however fearful its waves, I am sure that it will not go beyond its limits. How is this happening? By the order of Krishna. Krishna orders, "My dear Pacific Ocean, you may be very big and powerful, but you cannot come beyond this line." In this way, one can immediately remember Krishna, or God, who is so powerful that even the Pacific Ocean abides by his order. In this way, one can think of Krishna, and that is Krishna consciousness. Similarly, when one sees the sunshine, one can immediately remember Krishna. For Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.8, Prabhasmi shashi suryayoh, I am the shining of the sun and the moon. If one has learned how to see Krishna, one can see him in the sunshine. Our scientists have not created the sun, and although they may juggle words, it is beyond their ability to know what the sun actually is. But the Vedanta Sutra 1.1.3 says, Shastrayo nitvat, one can know everything through the Shastra, the Vedic literature. For example, if one studies the Vedic literature, one can know what the sun is. For the sun is described in the Brahma Samhita 5.5.2. Yachakshureva savita sakala grahanam Raja samasta suramurtirashesha tejah Yasya gyaya Brahmati samrita kala chakro Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. This verse describes the sun as the eye of all the planets, and if one meditates upon this, one can understand that this is a fact. For at night, before the sun rises, one cannot see. The sun is also described as the eye of the Lord. The sun is one of his eyes and the moon is the other. In the Upanishads, therefore, it is said that only when Krishna sees can we see. The sun is also described as Ashesha Teja, unlimitedly hot. And what is its function? Yasya Gyaya Brahmati Sambrita Kala Chakra. The sun has its orbit. God has entered the sun. Quote, you just travel within this orbit and not anywhere else. Unquote. The scientists say that if the sun were to move a little to one side, the whole universe would be ablaze. And if it moved to the other side, the whole universe would freeze. But by the order of the Supreme, it does not move even 1/10,000th of an inch from where it should be. It always rises exactly at the correct time. Why? There must be some discipline, some obedience, some order. The Brahma Samhita therefore says, Yasya Gyaya Brahmati Sambrita Kala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Quote, I worship that person by whose order the sun moves in its orbit. It is he who gives direction even to the sun, the ocean, and the moon. Everything takes place under his order. Unquote. So where is the difficulty in understanding God? There is no difficulty. If one is actually sane, if one has a brain that is not made of stool, one can understand God at every step. The Lord says, Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashi suryayo pranavah sarva vedeshu shabdah kye paurusham drishu. Quote, O son of Kunti, Arjuna, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and ability in man. Unquote. Bhagavad Gita 7.8. Why then do people say, I have not seen God? Why don't they see God as God directs them to see Him? Why do they manufacture their own way? One cannot see God by one's own way. That is not possible. If one tries to do so, one will always remain blind. At the present moment, so-called philosophers and scientists are trying to see God in their own way, but that is not possible. One has to see God by God's way. Then one can see Him. If I want to see the President of the United States, can I see him in my own way? If not, then how can I expect to see God in my own way? Is it not rascaldom? I cannot see even an ordinary man in an important position in my own way. I have to make an appointment with his secretary and make the other appropriate arrangements. But although God is so much greater than ordinary man, rascals support the view that one can see God in one's own way. As many ways as you invent, they say, they're all bona fide. This is rascaldom. The world is full of rascals and fools, and therefore God consciousness, Krishna consciousness, has become a vague idea. Otherwise, if one wants to see God, if one wants Him to be always present, as Kunti Devi is requesting Him to be, one can keep God always within one's heart. Jai. We simply have to apply our mind and senses in Krishna consciousness, as done by Maharaja Ambarisha. Savai mana Krishna padaravindayor vacham shivai kuntha gunanuvarnane. Bhagavatam 9.4.18. First, we must fix our minds on the lotus feet of Krishna, for the mind is the center of all sensory activities. If the mind were absent, in spite of having eyes, we could not see, and in spite of having ears, we could not hear. Therefore, the mind is considered the 11th sense. There are 10 senses, 5 working senses, and 5 knowledge-acquiring senses. And the center of the senses is the mind. The Bhagavad Gita 3.42 says, Indriyani paranyahur indriyebhyah param manaha manasastu para buddhir yo buddheh paratastu saha. In this verse, Krishna explains that although we consider the senses to be very prominent, beyond the senses is something superior, the mind. Beyond the mind is the intelligence, and beyond the intelligence is the soul. How can we appreciate the existence of the soul if we cannot understand even the psychological movements of the mind? Beyond the mind is the intelligence, and by speculation one can, at the utmost, approach the intellectual platform. But to understand the soul and God, one must go beyond the intellectual platform. It is possible to understand everything, but we must gain understanding through the right channel. Therefore, the Vedic injunction is Tadvigyanartham sagurom evabhigachet samit panih shrotriyam brahmanishtham. Quote, if one is actually serious about understanding supernatural, transcendental subject matters, one must approach a bona fide spiritual master. Unquote, Mundaka Upanishad 1.1 or 1.2.12. Jai. So we have completed chapter number 22. Tomorrow we shall read the next chapter entitled chapter number 23, Natural Prosperity. Natural Prosperity. Haribo. So, thank you so much for tuning in today. The link to this book is in the description. You can find the links where to read, how to purchase, and also visit our website shravanamdiaries.com. You can find books catalog, episodes timeline, and we shall see you next time. Hare Krishna.